welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk about a unique business in town. It's called Versability. You may know it by its former name, the ARC. My guest is their president and CEO, Kasia Grzelkowski. Tell me
well
how to spell
done. Well done. Grzelkowski. No worries.
Grzelkowski. Okay. From here on out, you're just Kasia. Is that all right?
That's perfectly fine.
Kasia, you guys are a business, but also really a social organization that is supportive of the community.
Absolutely. We were formed in Hampton and have now been proudly serving people with disabilities in this region for over 60 years.
That is an amazingly long time. A lot of, for-profit companies don't stick around that long.
Well, we consider ourselves a social enterprise, and we've grown to the point that we now serve over 1,400 people with disabilities each year. And we're a comprehensive service provider. We just opened our 10th home. We have day support services. We're serving over 600 infants and toddlers each year. And we have 4 different employment programs because people with disabilities really want to work.
Now see, I think mostly of the employment picture, and that has grown so much. I mean, you guys have 1,000 employees now.
We do, and over half of those employees are people with disabilities. And in fact, we've been recognized by Inside Business for the last 2 years in a row as one of the fastest growing companies in Hampton Roads.
Right, and so I think of you, and I see you at the Chamber of Commerce, and I think of this very businessy kind of thing, granted with a social mission, but I forget. So let's talk about the services you provide then, from toddlers up through employees.
Absolutely. So again, we have grown and changed as needs of people with disabilities and their families have changed, and emerging needs have come to pass over time. So we serve infants and toddlers with any kind of disability or developmental delay from 0 to 3. And again, that's grown to about 630 we're serving this year. And half of those are military families. We have 10 homes, Hampton and Newport News, and our newest home in York County. And we support people with disabilities around the clock every day of the year, and make sure that they have all the supports they need to live full lives in our community.
And those are adult
Those
group
are
homes
adults
with
with
support.
disabilities,
Okay.
yes. But the employment piece is a big driver for us, because people with disabilities nationwide experience over 70% unemployment.
Well, and there's a lot of support up until until they age out of the school system. And then, they're kind of left
You can
alone.
fall off a cliff in Virginia. We have over 10,000 people with disabilities on a waiting list to receive services, and we're adding 2 people a day.
Oh my
So again, we get motivated every day after graduating high school and investing in an education and all those hopes and dreams. Young people with disabilities want to go to work just as we all do.
And a few of them can find employment in the private sector. I mean, it's not unusual anymore, but a lot of employers aren't necessarily thinking or looking toward those people and how they can utilize folks.
All of our business partners, once they give that opportunity to a person with disabilities, say they're the best employees around. Show up every day, ready to work, appreciating their job. Excited.
Work,
And in
yeah.
fact, on the snow days when everybody was looking how to stay home, all of our employees were looking at how can they get to work.
Wow.
Including a young man who walked 2.5 hours, 2 nights in a row in the blizzard to report to the switchboard at Langley Air Force Base, because he's essential personnel.
Wow.
And he just received a command coin from General Urick in recognition of his dedication to his job.
Isn't that great? Because it is essential. I mean, oh my gosh, you're working the switchboard. You've got to be there. And that's a Herculean effort to
And
show
part
up
of
for
what
work.
we really want to show the business community is that that is the asset that a person with disabilities will bring to their workplace. And we help both regional businesses and the federal government thrive through providing a dedicated and skilled workforce that really provides a wide array of work in very diverse settings. So, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, building on that, let's talk about how, what kind of work settings and work opportunities you have for people with disabilities, but also how you work through business partners and what kind of roles they're good at.
Absolutely. So our federal contracting, we currently hold 13 federal contracts. 11 of those are in this region. And over 400 of our employees work on almost every major installation, doing everything from manufacturing eyeglasses for the Department of Defense to answering all of the East Coast calls for the Air Force,
Wow.
to answering the switchboard at the VA, and base-wide custodial at Yorktown Cheetah Annex and at Wallops Island on the Eastern Shore.
Holy cow.
And
that's, you know, I mean, it is all in Hampton Roads, but that's very widespread and very diverse.
And 2 of those contracts have become nationwide. So Versability Resources is the prime contractor for ship provisioning for the U.S. Navy.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means literally our employees are on the docks putting food on ships of all classes and sizes.
Okay.
So currently the 6 major ports on both the east and west coast. We directly employ about 90 folks at Naval Station Norfolk and have 40 employees in Pearl Harbor. And we're adding Guam to that contract here coming up in October.
Wow. Wow.
And our second nationwide contract is delivering both classified and post mail for the U.S. Air Force at 14 major bases all around the country.
Holy cow. How do you keep up with all that? You guys have, I mean, you have to have a pretty strong network of administrators to handle all that.
We have a tremendous team that, again, wakes up every day motivated by our mission and what can we do to create jobs and support people with disabilities and living fulfilling lives in our communities. And so that's just the federal work that I touched upon. We really want to talk with the local business community about how we can work together to create jobs and meet your business needs. It's a business solution first and the mission piece, but you'll be glad you gave us that opportunity. So we do everything from, we created a new solution for the aerospace industry to digitize their x-rays. We have a clean room in our Hampton facility, and we perform a wide array of assembly and manufacturing types of jobs. And our business partners will tell us that we help them create their solutions. The company that, Soluble Systems, that we manufacture the bandage for, we absolutely help them design and refine their production process, as well as providing the labor to make the bandage.
That is really impressive. And I think when you think about business solutions, and that's part of your role, and you were previously the chairman of the board of the Chamber of Commerce, you meet with business leaders and don't just tell them what you have, you ask them what they need and then work toward how you guys could play a role in that.
Absolutely. So I would urge the business community to give us a call and let's have that discussion, and we'll help you devise a solution to some of the issues you're facing and create great jobs for people with disabilities. And we've also launched some lines of business to meet community needs while creating jobs. And one of those is our electronics recycling.
I think a lot of people who know nothing else about Versability know that you will recycle old computers. That much, I think, has really gotten through to the general public.
And that's fantastic because it's a really easy way for us to help a business or an individual while we're creating those jobs. And we have recently expanded that line of business. We recently were awarded a contract by the Commonwealth of Virginia to handle recycling for state, city, municipal offices, and that can also be for individuals as well. We're one of only 3 entities that got that sanction from the Commonwealth, and we are handling the districts for all of Hampton Roads up through Richmond and Fredericksburg.
Oh my gosh. So that'll bring some more employees, right? You're going to have to grow to handle that level of business.
Absolutely, and one piece of that is we've just opened a new facility in Virginia Beach, and we're leasing 130,000 square feet that's dedicated to the e-recycling line of business. And that is really driven because we have just become, we're based in Hampton, but we've just become the East Coast Material Aggregation Center for what's called the Cycle Point Network. And Cycle
Over my head. Okay, Cycle Point Network. Let's see what that is.
Cycle Point is a nationwide network of nonprofits that are engaged in e-recycling with the purpose of creating jobs for people with disabilities.
And that's just going to grow. You think about the amount of electronics in everything now. So it used to probably just be computers, and then it's phones and tablets, and those things have a very limited lifespan.
Absolutely, and we can really pretty much recycle everything that has a plug as long as it doesn't have freon or radiation.
Okay. So not microwaves, not refrigerators,
exactly.
Right?
and not smoke detectors.
Oh, smoke detectors.
Yes.
I didn't think about
Yes.
that. All right. Well, I'm overwhelmed and I'm like out of questions, but you probably, there's probably things I haven't even asked about because you're so global now. I mean, it's a really broad business and social model.
Absolutely. And again, we really can meet with business partners to talk about what your needs are and how our great employees with disabilities can meet those needs.
And do you work with, I mean, do you help hire and train those folks? I mean, it's not like the business is on their own, right?
Exactly. So we will, if you wish to hire a person with disabilities, we'll first come down with their job coach. And the job coach is first going to assess them for a good match with the employer.
And sometimes that's transportation, sometimes it's job. I mean, there's a lot of factors that come into play.
Yes, that job coach is going to help both train to exactly what the tasks are that you need to perform, but also make sure you have reliable transportation. You know what to wear, how to work with your supervisor, et cetera. And the job coach will be there side by side at no cost to the business until that employee has absolutely mastered their tasks. And then that job coach will take a step back, but regularly check in with you as the employer as well as the employee to make sure that continues to be a success.
Okay, how easy is that on the business?
It is very easy.
If I have to train my employees,
Yes.
It's a huge investment of time hiring and training new employees. And so an employee that comes with a coach and a trainer and a partner in the process would be a big help.
You get a tailor-trained employee and that ongoing support and oversight of that employee to make sure they continue to be a stellar employee for your organization. And so October is actually going to be National Disability Employment Awareness Month. And that's really when we celebrate the tremendous contributions of people with disabilities to our workforce and to our communities.
Do you have any idea of how many people you've placed in, I mean, I know you know your employment numbers, but placement in the private sector?
Right now, we have over 130 employees that we're supporting, again, throughout the entire region, from the Middle Peninsula and the Northern Neck through to Virginia Beach.
Oh, that's not very many. You can do more,
We
right?
absolutely, and what we
if you
need.
have those business partners.
Exactly. Let's have that conversation. And one example is we had a meeting with a manager of 16 Arby's in the region, came, toured our facility and said, let's try this. So we started with one store. We now have employees in all 16 of the stores throughout the entire region.
Yeah, that is a great success story. And I think more businesses, if they would stop and think about what kinds of tasks they have, or if they don't have time to stop and think, they could call you and you'll do the thinking for them. Exactly.
Let's sit down and have the conversation. That's exactly how our partnership grew with Alcoa. Started with that first job that they thought was charity. We now have over a dozen jobs that we do with Alcoa, and they will tell you that we're their best business partner even across their international network. And that conversation led to that new solution for the aerospace industry. So looking for a way to convert millions of x-rays that are accumulating into digital form. They looked across the globe for a solution, and it was Versability Resources that developed a technical solution that met their needs, as well as a price point that they could bear to convert all of those x-rays.
Because converting x-rays is a little more complicated than you scanning other documents. I mean, is that something that you do or you help provide for companies, digitizing
Yes.
other kinds of records as well?
Absolutely. So we can absolutely do your paper. If you're looking at those daunting file rooms that you'd like to convert into digital form, that's great work for our employees with disabilities. And we've performed that work. We're now working for Old Point National Bank. We're talking with the shipyard. We've performed that for the Chamber of Commerce, Zell Technologies, and many other satisfied customers. So we can do your paper. We've done photographs, but we also developed software and the rest of a solution for the aerospace industry.
Fabulous. Wonderful. Okay, let me give you a second to make a pitch directly to the business community.
Thank you, Robin. Please call Versability Resources. We help many businesses thrive by providing a skilled and dedicated workforce that provides a wide array of work in diverse settings. You'll be glad you called us. We'll help you tailor a solution, and you'll have tremendous employees that help improve attendance and morale in your organization as a whole. So we look forward to working with you.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for coming by, Kasia.
Thank you, Robin.
And thank you for watching. I hope Kasia has opened your eyes to some people on the peninsula who need jobs and to some opportunities you may have to put them to work. Thanks for watching.